Okay, the next safety rule is the different cloths. So we've got a dishcloth for wiping down the tables, a tea towel for drying up, and we've got an oven cloth. So there's some rules with the oven cloth. It's probably the most important thing here. See, this one's not very good. Seen better days. So this is an old one from home. So you need to fold it in half, and when you take something out the oven, the other rule you need is you need a cooling rack out. So the only cooling rack I've got, I use the one out in the grill area. So when you take it out the oven, you should fold it in half, never get it wet, don't wash and wipe up with it, don't wipe the sides down. So if it's wet, it won't be an insulator, it will end up being a conductor and you'll burn yourself. So as you take it out, pick it up with the rim and then put it down straight on the cooling rack. If you're at home, you might have these instead. I prefer the actual cloths rather than the gloves, but you can use these as well. And you can take these as well. I find that harder to grab it with that, but they're nice and thick. So that's how you use that. Once you've finished with the oven, you need to make sure you turn it off. The next thing we're going to do now is, if you're draining something with boiling water, don't hold it and pour the pan of boiling water. Don't hold it in the sink, actually put it in the sink, because if you hold it and you slip, you might get boiling water on your hand and scald yourself. So more safety rules with the pot is, don't have it hanging this way, otherwise some youngster might pull it towards himself and be covered in boiling water. Do not put the handle over another flame, otherwise that will get hot. When you've finished with the flame, you need to make sure you turn it off, that's the other rule. So now we're going to get back to the fresh fruit salad. So I'm just going to point it at the chopping board so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to wash all the fruit that's going to eat the skin. If I'm not going to eat the skin, I'm not going to bother washing it. So these ones are all going to be eating the skin, so I'm going to wash these over here. I'm washing them off. Take any stickers off the apple. They're actually meant to be edible. Never actually ate one before, but they reckon they are. But I'm not going to. I'll definitely be peeling them off. So the first thing we're going to do is the pineapple. So I'm only going to do half of it. So we cut the top off, and the rubbish all goes in the rubbish bin. That's one of the rules. Cut the bottom off. I think I'm only going to cut half of it up. Then we cut round it, and we have to cut round rather than straight down like a square. This one's probably a bit too right, this one here. So make sure that when you buy it, you can keep it in the fridge. Probably make it last longer. All the rubbish, that's why there's a few brown bits on it. It's quite old. As you can see, this one's quite old. So I should have used it a bit earlier. So in here, cut it out, all the little brown bits. Oh, any seeds. These, sometimes you get some pips in here as well. Now they come in a bit of a diagonal, the pips. So you can, the seeds, so you can do that. Now we stand it up right. As you can see, it still looks a round shape. The pupils at school normally end up with it square. Cut it into quarters, then you can cut the core out. Now you can actually get machines for doing this, but it's quite hard to get it out, and some of the big pineapples you waste it. And then just dice it up with a little bit still on there, chop it up, and then to get it into the bowl, the best thing to do, just move it over here a little bit, is to scrape it, or just do it like that, that's easier. Next thing, melon. Just going to check that we're still on the, we are. Cut it in half, I'm only going to use half of this. Now you can either scoop it out with your fingers, or scoop it out with a spoon if you don't want to scoop it out with a spoon. I'm going to scoop it out with my fingers and I don't waste too much. Now with the melon, this bit here is sweeter than this bit here. When you do this, you have to waste a little bit of this, because right near this bit here is quite hard, so you need to take a little bit thicker than you would like on a potato. So normally I would cut it towards myself. It's a bit dangerous for you youngsters, so we're just going to cut it in half and then always cut down, and if you slip you're only going to hit the chopping board. So I'm only going to do a few bits of this and make sure that you take it all off. And then I'll do one bit nice and big just to show you something about fanning. Because in restaurants they might have this for dessert, or for a starter they might have some fanned melons. So we're going to get this bit here. I'm going to try and cut it away from myself, but I'm going to have to be a bit careful here. So So I put my hand here, so I'm cutting away from my actual hand now. Rubbish in here. But the other bits, if you're just dicing it up, you can do it the safer way, might be safer. So melon, this is a honeydew melon. There's cantaloupe and Galia melons, and there's watermelons. They're the the 4 main ones that we get in England. So the fanned one, we can slice it nice and thin. Turn it upside down, and we can like fan it on a plate, and they might do raspberry Kool-Aid or fresh fruit with it. But for today, I'm just dicing up for fresh fruit salad. But yeah, raspberry Kool-Aid would be popular, or just they might do a sorbet with it, a raspberry blackcurrant sorbet. That could be it for a starter or for a sweet. Years ago, a very old-fashioned starter was melon. They don't seem to do it so much anymore. But when I was a child, that would quite often be a starter in a restaurant. So melon, that's 2 done. So a melon might be quite expensive, but you do get quite a lot of fruit out of it, so it's not actually cheaper than probably strawberries and things. So an apple, I'm only going to do 1 apple, cut it in half, cut it in quarters, cut the core out. So I'm always cutting down. I'm gripping it like this. This is called the claw. Rubbish goes in the rubbish bowl, otherwise we end up with the pips in it. Cut it in half, and I'm going to cut that each quarter into 6, so I've got about 24 bits of apples. You don't need to peel the apples. Obviously if the skin's not very good, you can peel it. With a pear, I don't normally peel them, but obviously if the skin's not very good, you can. Now plums, peaches, nectarine, you do these the same ways. So you cut it round, and I'm going to hit the stone. So cut round till I hit the stone, spin it, then dice this bit up. This bit here, do not try and get this out with a knife, because if you slip, you might cut yourself. You definitely won't cut yourself with a teaspoon, or very unlikely to. You can use this, and it will quite easily go through the flesh. Yeah, this plum needs to be a bit riper. It'll come out. You can try and take it out with your thumb or your finger, but try not to use a knife. Then we just dice it up. Only 1 knife on the board at a time, don't forget. This is a nice big board, so it's not so bad, but if you've got a small board, that's even more important. Next one. I'm doing the orange last because that's the most difficult, which I'm going to show you. So I've got some strawberries. Now strawberries, I wouldn't normally put in a fresh fruit salad, just so happens I've got some. Do not waste too much. So when you do this, you just take the little bit off here. You can get a little machine to pull them out. In the summer in England, when if they're English ones, you can just pull this out and the whole thing will come out. If it leaves the green bit in, that's not so good. So you can pull it out. That's Harley, it's called. So if in England in July, if you get some home picked ones, you'll be able to pull them out and it will take all that out at the same time. These ones won't be as good. They'll be grown in Spain or somewhere. Strawberries also don't last very long, so this isn't the best thing for fruit salad. As you can see, I've got a little brown bit on there, so you don't get that much with the other fruit. So just cut them off, don't waste too much. I see pupils sometimes that take off and they waste all that amount there, so don't waste it. Make sure you cut it all off, don't waste the fruit. Strawberries are good, but I normally they quite often come in bash and they're expensive for what they are. It's different if they're in season, that would be different. I think the Queen likes things in season. She won't have strawberries unless they're in season. I read that recently. So into the fruit salad. Grapes, I normally cut. These have all been washed. Take them off the stalks. Any green bits in there, just cut these in half. So you can either use a big knife or you can use a little knife if you find that easier. But some things, the big things like the melon and the pineapple, or the apple even, are a lot easier to cut. And I cut these in half. These ones are seedless grapes. Obviously, if they've got a pigment on, you'd have to take the pips out. If they're really small, you could even put them in whole. They go in orange juice to stop the fruit going brown, especially the apple and bananas. We can put some orange juice or lemon juice with water and sugar in. The orange juice will stop the fruit going brown, which is called eczemic browning. Banana, peel it. This one's not quite very ripe because it's a bit green. I like them a bit more orange. But my wife only went shopping yesterday. So by the end, by next week, even though it wasn't quite ripe, there's a few bruised bits. So we just cut some of the bruised bits out. Don't normally put them in, but don't normally get it on the green bananas. But as they get riper, they'll be more brown inside, obviously. So and cut the ends off. So we don't normally eat that little end bit here. That goes in. Trouble with bananas with a fruit salad, unless you're eating them straight away, they go a bit mushy. So try not to put too much banana in, maybe put that in at the last minute. If you're making it in the morning for the evening, do the banana at the last minute. Orange, this is definitely the hardest thing. Takes 2 minutes, and you have to get all the skin off of it. So this one, as you can see, it's not a great looking one. Alexa, timer, 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
So cut the end off, round. Normally takes me 2 minutes. Normally I give the people 5 or 6 minutes to do this, since they still struggle and they still lose loads of zest on it. As you can see, I'm going round. I've worked at colleges before, they still even do this at colleges because this is known as quite a hard skill. Turn it upside down, you can still see I've got some white. You have to take every little bit of white off it. So as you can see, it's still round the orange, quite a big size orange. You can squeeze the juice later, I'll do that later. Then in between each one, we take the segments out. So you have to be nice and close to the white bit, but don't get the white bit. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of the white bit there. I was trying to be a little bit too close. Take the white off. Bit there. That segment. And I'm going to weigh this. So this is one of the challenges sometimes we have in the class. They do the orange and they're going to weigh it. So we're going to weigh this today. And I'm going to get about 70-ish grams normally. But you can't have any white bits. Hopefully I'm going to do this in 2 minutes because I've been a bit slower than normal, I think. So one down there. One down there. Another one. It's the segments. Yes, you can buy tin mandarins. Somehow they do it in a factory and some machine does it. But it's quite labour intensive, this. So you don't get much orange for your money, but you do get the, in lots of posh restaurants they'd have this. They do a thing called Florida cocktail, which is grapefruit and orange. That can also be for a starter, a bit like the melon. So no white bits, and there we are. So that's under the 2 minutes. Then we need to arrange it in a bowl. To arrange it neatly in a bowl, and then I'm going to weigh it. So that's 2 minutes, obviously. Alexa, stop. So we're going to weigh this in a minute. As you can see, it's quite a lot of orange over there. Probably got at least 70 grams. So we're going to get the scales. I've got another bowl there. Oh, they're blueberries. We don't normally put blueberries in the fruit salad because there's no skill involved, but I've got a few in there, so I'm just going to put them in there. But obviously if we're learning to cut stuff up, that's not actually learning much. So I'm going to do the scales. As you can see, I think you can see that, that's on 0. I have to press it again. Then I'm going to take it out for a minute. Take it out, put it on the scales, press 0. Chuck it in. Oh, and I said I'd get 70 grams in, so I got 79 grams. So I'm going to take a photo of that later and then put it in the fruit salad. This juice here, we don't waste this. Look how much juice we're getting out of this. Loads and loads of juice. Yeah, so don't waste the juice. So that's a real hard skill. So maybe have a go at that and weigh it and make sure there's no myth on it and see if you can do it. You can have a lot longer than the 2 minutes. You can have as roughly as long as you like, but in the classroom we've got a limited time. So all these juice goes in here. And the bigger the orange, obviously, the small satsumas, they're very, very difficult to do that with, and you don't get much out of them. So I would advise, if you do this, get a big one. If you get the small ones, you'll just have to put the segments with the pith in, which isn't so good. So that's the fresh fruit salad done. And I think I've covered most of the safety. One last thing. Let's wash my hands. We're going to come over, point over to here. I'm just going to show you all the different things that are in the drawer here. So make sure that when you finish, you have all the things in your drawer. The only thing I'm missing is a palette knife, which is like a big butter type knife for buttering, and it's palette. So we've got a rolling pin, spatula. This is a fish slice, not a spatula, by the way. You'll have a wooden, like a plastic spoon like this for stirring. This is made of silicone, so you can use this for stirring as well. The ones you'll have will be brown and white. This is called like a veg knife for cutting fruit and vegetables. Dinner knife, dinner fork, 2 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons and a peeler. Thank you. That's Mr. Bloxham from Bay House School.